this waste also we could convert it as a MSW charcoal, and further we can make utilization to the coal-based power plant or wherever we have a requirement of heat or the industrial uses. So this is the kind of a solution we have came forward to make utilization. This is the policy which actually giving the grounds to make a better way or the effectiveness of the solution. So this is the all India potential of for this specifically for the agriculture based biomass. So we having, as I mentioned, some 209 gigawatt of, अगर हम उसमें 5% की बात करते हैं, so we having around 1 lakh tons per day of the biomass pellet. So it is looks very lucrative. लेकिन when I have just will sit to another side of the seat, so I will see कि बॉस 1 लाख तो काफ़ी अच्छा है, बहुत good numbers है. I have to come forward, I have to make a good investment. So I have to say that there is a before going ahead with this business, you have to assess what location you are going forward and what is the capacity limitation of the catchment area where you should work on. Because आप पूरे इंडिया को एक जगह बैठकर नहीं entertain कर सकते हैं. You could not cater this 1 lakh tons per day of the biomass pellets. So according to location or wherever the potential you are finding, you have to work on. So in general, even Monish Savi is also there. He is well the legendary in this segment. So he knows. He would also tell you कि बॉस जहाँ पे प्लांट लगा रहे हो पहले उसको देख तो लो कि मेरे साथ कोई कॉम्पिटिटर तो नहीं बैठा हुआ है. पहले रॉ मटेरियल है नहीं है, आपने सिस्टम लगा लिया, रॉ मटेरियल नहीं है, then how you could work on this part. So the basic philosophy which actually has just come across many people, the many industries or the experts, they are saying the rule 33. Rule 33 is telling just assess your 30 kilometers area. What are the set of the raw biomass you have, what capacity and what quality and what quantity. If you are getting the answer of this question, according to that your first part is okay. And the next 33, the next 3 is telling about the 100. Just assess your 300 kilometers of catchment. Who are your customers? If you are getting customers in within that range, so definitely your project is going to viable as an economical sense. Otherwise it is going to fail. For this specifically I am telling for this densification business. I am not telling about the CBG business or the set of the initiative. Specifically this philosophy would work on for the rule 33 for this biomass densification side. And whatever the map actually I am just showing, this is the MNRE atlas. You could access by through which states you would like to work on, and accordingly you could access and you could go ahead with this with your business. So we have some different, this agriculture, forestry and municipal garbage actually is also one of the vertical which we actually looking forward to make utilization. As earlier when the policy was actually introduced in year 2021, there was no inclusion of this bamboo, but later on, because Maharashtra has taken a very good initiative, they had formulated the specifically for this bamboo utilization and they are cultivating in a lot of manner. At the same time, there was a one actually kind of a confusion or the understanding, bamboo is not being accounted as a grass. It was actually considered as a plant. So that's why many states are not encouraging to make a cutting of these trees, because it was actually counted in the category of the trees. But later on, some clarification has been sought out by the many volunteers or the leaders, then it is counted as a grass. Now we are cultivating this grass and we are making utilization at a better manner wherever we are finding a very good application. So these are some certain advantages all we knows. So I'm just going at palletization, why it is required, this is densifying, because you are getting the very good bulk density, higher homogeneity, low moisture content, high energy density and safe to store and transport. Because you can, whenever you are making some logistic and transport, you have to make a kind of a handle very volumetric material which is actually creating a troubles also and some making a more economics burden to you. So this is some kind of some technology advancement down the line from this palletization industries also. Earlier some since if you will see some last 20 years. So right now we are with the 8th generation biomass pallet machines, which you could see over here. Some many exhibitors are also showcasing, which is actually popularly known as the ring die machines, which is more effective rather than the whatever the combo set of machine we are getting, piston type machine we are getting. So lots of the machines in this the entire journey of the palletization. So this is simply the process which we are following when we are doing some pallet. This is some ABCD of this sector. Just I'm telling to just kind of a revision for you. So if somebody knows, then it is good. If they don't know, so I think it would help to them. So this is the feeding, drying, grinding, feeding, conditioning, and then further palletizing, then afterwards cooling, screening and packaging, and further wherever you want to sell, just go with that transportation and logistics. So There's one more category in the palletizing. There one is we are calling it a non-torrefied pellet. Another one is a torrefied. So the torrefied, because whenever you are storing in the moisture content area, the moisture rich area, so it could make some this kind of a losses. That high degradation would be there, and poor grindability and non-uniform properties would occur. That's why preferably industry is looking for the torrefied biomass pellets, which actually is more effective and more receptivity for the down the line. Even though as a ministry we are also thinking to go ahead with the torrefied fuel, but no doubt there is some cost economic issues which we later we are resolving out to come forward on by making handholding to whosoever the technology suppliers and even though some the suppliers which you could tap the some other byproducts also. This is some schematic diagram how you could make up some torrefication pellet. So everybody having some different sets of arrangement, but majorly people are doing some chipping. In India actually or in foreign, there will be one difference in the torrefication. Some people are doing torrefication, then further they are pelletizing. And in global countries you would see they are doing some pelletization, then further they are torrefying. So the huge difference in this the process because of that, because they are going ahead with the woody based biomass, and right now we are in India is more concentrated about this the agriculture based biomass. So that's why this process is actually is making a difference for the torrefication process. These are some technical specifications whenever such tenders is being floated by any of the company like NTPC, TBC or the state GENCOs or the IPPs. So these are some state specific technical specification which you have to meet whenever you are going to bid or making or supply to the any power plants. Like base material should be some agriculture, bamboo, and right now the MSW charcoal is also allowed. Some diameter not should be. So you could go through. I will leave this PPT over here. So this is some basic philosophy how the process conversion and what are the costs actually being involved for the conversion of this raw biomass into the pellets form. So if we'll taking some general comparative between how coal is differentiating or how biomass is differentiating with the coal, definitely it is a fossil fuel, it is a renewable fuel. We are categorizing CO2 emission in coal is very high in comparison to biomass. And sulfur content is also high because sometimes if we are importing then it is so high. So that's why some power plant is going ahead with the FGT installation also. That is some last 10 years we are seeing on. So this is a set of the difference you can easily read over here. And this is the main part I think many of you know, or if you are a technical guy definitely you are knowing of this thing, but I am just informing because whenever you are in this segment, every businessman should know your customer. If you are a pellet manufacturer, on that perspective, I would say this is a very informative part for you. If you don't know your customer, then you are not able to sell your product to them. Because many people know, bus power plant was हमको देना है, but which kind of the power plant and what set of the material they require. This is the part actually I am just going to make you clear over here. So in power plant or in this sector, you could see major three kind of this category of the boilers. One we are calling as a stoker fired, another is the pulverized fuel boiler, and the fluidized waste combustion boiler. In stoker fired, chain gate system and distributed stoker. हमने वैसे भी boilers देखे होंगे where we are completely feeding the base to bales. So on this is the first category of the boilers where you can feed the complete base to these boilers and no need to make a further processing of like the pellet or the kind of sliding, nothing is required. In the one FBC boiler, you could see there are some two AFBC and CFBC. So in AFBC, you could see atmospheric fluidizer and circulate fluid. You could make a shredding or the chipping, and afterwards you could make a co-firing. You could find this boiler majority of them in the steel sector, cement sector. They having some captive power plants. So you could find this set of the furnaces with their system. And the majority, which I am just mentioning you about this power generating cycle, you could find the middle one, the pulverized fuel boilers. So in these boilers, there are some three category of the milling, where the coal is being crushed into the powder form and further it is going to the furnace. So to cater this kind of a boilers, definitely you have to go with the pellet process or to have this kind of a torrefication or the torrefied pellets, which is actually helping because this non-torrefied pellets or the loose biomass could not be made milled and afterwards we cannot feed to the boilers. So there is a challenge, that's why we need to process this into the pellets form. So I'm just mentioning what are the grade and the chain grade. So this is some kind of a flow, how this fuel is fed in the boilers. And this is the FBC kind of a, this is the FBC or the circulating CFBC. And this is the pulverized fuel boilers arrangement. So this is some technicalities which actually is being. So in this set of arrangement, how you could make a co-firing? As we the policy is talking all times the biomass co-firing, but how this biomass co-firing could you could implement to your set of the boilers, whether AFBC, CFBC and feed stove. So there is a set of arrangement, that is a direct combustion, indirect co-combustion and parallel co-combustion. Indirect co-combustion, what actually happening? You are feeding your biomass along with the coal. When it is going to feed in the, so this is the set of the arrangement you could see or you could implement in the pulverized coal fuel boilers. Meanwhile, this indirect co-combustion you could also implement in the PC, but it would make a more costlier and you have to make some separate arrangement for the handling of your biomass and the feeding also. At the same time, the parallel co-combustion you have to separately install your biomass co-firing plants or the biomass fired boiler and separately whatever the gas would be formed or the heat would be generated, you have to combine that and afterwards it will go to the turbines. So this is a set. So majority of the direct combustion actually we have implemented in India and we are going ahead with this set of arrangement. So these are some direct co-firing versus alternative arrangements. So you could see. Okay, this is some the assessment which we have done for this direct co-firing arrangement. Like we are replacing some 5 to 10% of the coal by making mixing of this non-torrefied as well as the, and if we want to achieve higher percentage of co-firing, then definitely we have to go with the torrefied only. It is not possible to, because we have checked many boilers of the milling part actually creating a lots of the mill rejection when we are going with the non-torrefied pellets. So torrefied is actually future. So this is a complete system when we are collecting or the cutting your raw biomass or the waste biomass from sourcing to finally do the power generation. So in this segment you could see there is a high growth for the pellet manufacturing emerging or the high use gap. But the thing is that I think all should not go with this the kind of a, first whenever you want to come in this business or this energy sector, just go with the aggregation system. Once you are having a very good command in the aggregation side, then you could easily or smoothly can run your business for the next phase, because you don't require any highs or the, some scientific or rocket science technology. It is the basic machines which you can easily get. In 5 years or 7 years back, it was the situation you have to wait for your machine more than a year. But right now, if you are ordering your machine within 3 months or within a month, you can get your machine at your site, and afterwards within 3 months you can set up and you can run your unit. So before going ahead, this is a machine arrangement, but before that you have to make a command for your raw biomass collection and aggregation. So there is some government incentives or the kind of a central financial assistance from the MNRE as well as from the CPCB. CPCB actually limiting their area to for the NCR region only. Meanwhile, MNRE is applicable to all India. Wherever you, in India you want to set up, you could get some assistance of around 21 lakh rupees per TPH. So maximum it is limiting to the 5 plant. That is 1 crore 5 can get. And if you are setting some this torrefied unit, then you can get the assistance of 42 lakh rupees per TPH. You could see when this policy has been come in the picture, there was hardly some 3,900 ton to biomass pellet consumption. You could see some around this year we have made a consumption of around 11 lakh 21,000 in this hardly 4 months only period. And last year we have made around some 30 lakh 71,000. So total we have made around 60. So it has made a CO2 reduction of around 75.68 lakh metric ton of the CO2 saving. So this is the year-on-year progress, or you could see the NCR region, northern region. So NCR region definitely is taking a lead for this biomass co-firing implementation, because there is a one driving mechanism also, that is a penalty provision. If you are not doing co-firing, then definitely you are going to penalize. Meanwhile, the rest of India, it is still evolving. So as one of the stakeholders also highlighted regarding the future forward for the carbon credits, so definitely there is some carbon credit mechanism which actually would come in down the line for the this set of arrangement co-firing as well as for this, the pellet utilization for the such set of the boilers. And there are some the barriers which we are talking all time. So definitely you will also agree for this part. There is some people are having some fear regarding the policy uncertainty. Was many time people are asking for, sir, ये 5% policy रहेगा ना? ये ऐसा तो नहीं है कि it will go down or अभी फिर कुछ some revision would be there. So we are assuring that right now the policy is in picture. It is applicable up to the plant life. So that is, in normal we are considering plant life around 25 years. So there is no definitely weak institution, as I mentioned in my starting slides. कि boss, there is a number of ministries is being involved. किसी के पास biomass है and somebody is the user side. So it is, so definitely one national body is required for to make a catering or to handle this vast area of this biomass. And definitely some other challenges also, like stable feed stock, consistent material is not there. The qualified workers and skills. So we have also started to tackle this, the qualified skills for this industry. So we are in association with the Power Foundation of India, National Power Training Institute. We are doing this skill development program also. Okay, there is a lot of points to discuss, but okay, I am just going ahead. So as in this sector, there is a lots of benefits for the GENCOs, pellet manufacturers, farmers.